Hey, Real Nerds listeners, your favorite host Ryan here to remind you that social media is great. How great is it? There's many ways you can find the Real Nerds on social media. You can download us on iTunes. You can listen to us streaming on Stitcher Radio. You can call us 720-6nerds5. Aw man, our website is so cool. You can visit our website, realnerdspodcast.com. You want to leave some fan mail? Oh, that's so easy, realnerds@gmail.com. Twitter, we got it, @real_nerds. You can even like us on Facebook. Thank you so much, and hey, enjoy the show. Welcome to Real Nerds at Denver Comic-Con 2015. We hope you enjoy the following interview.
Welcome to the Real Nerds Podcast. We are live here on the Denver Comic-Con floor. We are in the last couple of hours here. It's all coming to an end, and somehow my voice is like carrying through. It's a blessing for sure. But I am not alone. Guys, introduce yourselves.
Hi, my name is Alex D'Elia, and I'm the writer of Eyesis, the Untouchable. It's a local comic we just published here.
Cool.
We're debuting the print issues here at the con.
Awesome.
My name is David Espy, and I am the illustrator of Eyesis, the Untouchable. I also am here local in Denver.
Very cool. So tell us a little bit about the book.
So it's about a woman named Isis Rodriguez who kills her abusive husband.
Fair.
And discovers that, man, she just loves to kill people.
Naturally. Right.
All right, cool.
And so for the next 2 issues, we have 3 issues out so far. So after that, we follow how deep she goes into this underworld. And in coming issues, we're going to sort of open up what's in that underworld and discover that. Yeah.
So how long have you guys been in comics?
Oh, wow. Well, I mean, this is our first official comic, and the entire, I guess you could say, 3 years, starting from when Alex gave me a call. I was on a way to a rave festival in Las Vegas. And, you know, on the Blue, getting in there, he's like, hey, man, you know, I think you have a kind of fucked up mind like I do. What do you say we make this comic? And I was all aboard from there. And hell yeah. So about 3 years ago, we got our start officially into the world of comics. But it only, at least in my case, it feels like I've only been in it for really a few months, like 6 months.
Yeah. Have you always been interested in, like, did you always know you wanted to write a comic?
Well, this started in about 2008 as a screenplay I was writing.
Cool.
And then I realized that, you know, to really fully realize it, I'd need about $80,000, $100,000, you know what I mean?
Right.
And it would also be, like, guaranteed NC-17 rating. So.
Oh, gotcha.
So I started kind of reapproaching it as a comic book, and David used to do storyboards when we were in film school together, and so I just thought it would be really cool. Comic books are basically movies, just without the sound.
Right. So you went to film school. Where'd you go?
CU Denver.
Cool. So you've always been into film?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. What are your favorite movies?
I like 2001: A Space Odyssey, Taxi Driver. Those are usually tied for my favorite, but I also like just any kind of weird stuff like Eraserhead. I like really, really scary horror movies like Cannibal Holocaust and stuff like that.
Very cool.
Yeah, Blade Runner, I think, is on my number 1 on sci-fi. Horror-wise, I've always loved the Halloween franchise and anything that is incredibly gory. So Takashi Miike and Audition, I think that was my introduction to him, which was incredible.
Yeah.
Thinking you're going through this kind of normal Japanese horror experience, a psychological thriller, and then all of a sudden you're left with, you know, I backed into a corner and I just got to watch this torture scene. It was pretty awesome. So
cool.
Yeah.
What kind of movies do you watch?
Man, I watch just about everything. But good question. I mean, for 200 weeks in a row now, I've watched whatever movie we're seeing that week. You know, a lot of action movies, a lot of I mean, the things that are nearest and dearest to my heart are going to be anything Coen Brothers, Fargo, No Country, Raiders of the Lost Ark, it's interesting. I was just talking to somebody yesterday about basically anything that Spielberg will do at this point, with the exception of AI, because that movie's a piece of shit.
But even then, he can do no wrong. I mean, you can go back to it and still be like, oh, well, I mean, Haley Joel Osment, you suck, but this movie is pretty great.
Yeah, I mean, you're still going to really love it because it's, it's basically a Kubrick film, but,
yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, right. But yeah, man, any more, sheesh. I mean, have you guys seen Mad Max yet?
No, we've been talking about it literally every minute since we've been here.
The show ends early today. Pack up your shit and go see Mad Max. What the fuck are you doing with your lives?
No, absolutely. If I don't, I'm just going to kill myself, I guess.
Cool. So artistically, where did you want the book to go? What was your inspiration? Like, how do you want the style of the art to be?
Oh, man. Well, we have a similar liking to 80s slasher films and just all of horror in general. And we read some manga. Anime influence has been, prevalent in my life forever, since I can kind of remember liking anything pop culture-wise. So it all kind of stems from there. But when I was illustrating it and working with, I guess I would say, like, I never drew from any. I drew from films mostly, like horror films, and the first issue was like a whole 2-year process of just, outside of our work, trying to find time whenever. Right. So that so many influences at the time, whether it's in my personal life or from what I've seen. But I guess you could say most of my artistic influence for this came from like a lot of Mark Silvestri and then local artists that pretty much guided my way through here. So Mike Geiger, Brett Nienberg, Nathan Storm, all these guys that work in like the video game industry here in Colorado. Greg Williams, who did his moniker is the Dark One, and he did Animal Mystic. Locally here, and it's very local to Denver. So I don't know if anyone. If you Google them, you'll be blown away by all ththese guys. They're fucking amazing.
Yeah, it's one of the things that's so cool about. Oh no, you can totally say fuck. It's the internet, man. Don't worry about it. It's one of the things that's really cool about a convention like this locally is seeing all of the people like you guys that are in Denver, working really hard, doing something really cool, and that it gives you a place where you can be seen, and you can also go meet a lot of these other guys in town that are doing the same thing. That I don't know where else you would meet these people, right? Unless you're standing, paying for your hold slot at the local comic shop right next to them, and happen to strike up a conversation. Like, with the exception of just general networking and happening to know a guy who knows a guy, this is the only place you can do this, right? So it's really a cool opportunity for sure.
Yeah, and I love how this convention is really, even though it's grown and it's huge in my opinion in comparison to the others. It's not as big, but it's so focused on comics and local creators. And it hasn't been, I guess, touched by the giant tentpoles, the Hollywood influence. It's just really cool to see and be able to. Turn, like us as new exhibitors, turn to our next booth and, oh, hey, you're from Fort Collins or you're Colorado Springs, and I absolutely love your work. And genuinely, they're like, oh, yeah, me too. I guess we're all here for a reason. So
yeah, it's really awesome. So when you're going from doing storyboards to doing a comic, what are the things you have to pay a lot of attention to? What are the hurdles that most people listening at home are going to go like, oh, well, they're the same freaking thing, right? And they're very much not. The talent is similar, but as far as telling a story between one to the next is actually a very different thing. So what are the hurdles that you ran into there?
Well, I guess just storyboard-wise, keying in on visual action, so making sure that, this large movement, say like a huge kick or something, is going to translate to the next frame, which is going to be either that guy getting kicked in the face or his reaction or whatever. But then, so compositionally, that is the focus, the driving the energy of the frame. And then now working with Alex, with a writer who has he has taken that into account in his own mind when he's been writing the script, and so it's translating all of the other elements, and then making it look visually, like making sense of it all visually, so the reader's eyes aren't going cross-eyed
Right.
and going retarded or anything.
Yeah.
So I think that was the biggest hurdle. So when I was doing storyboards, everything was very simplistic, and it wouldn't really go further than that. It's like, give them that concept, give them the image, let them run with it. But then here, it's like almost he's the storyboard artist as the writer, and then I have to make sense of it all and make sense of all of his other ideas that he's put in the script.
Yeah, is that tough while you're writing to try and figure out, how am I going to, to try and imagine how is this going to really look on the page? How do I have to break up the action and the dialogue to make sure that he can fit everything in on a page and make it feel natural?
Well, horror is hard to do.
Yeah, it is.
In a filmmaking medium, it's even harder to do in a comic book because you don't have any of the tricks. You don't have the editing. You don't have musical stings or anything like that.
Right.
So basically, when you're writing a horror comic, you kind of want to try and establish, what are some of the most shocking things that someone would watch on pause. Making a horror comic is like making a horror movie where you're not controlling the pacing.
They're getting up to go to the bathroom every 3 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, you want to make sure every panel has an image that's so striking that it sums up the whole idea of the scene.
Yeah.
Because you only have 22 pages per issue to really craft a story, and you want a decent amount of action to happen,
right,
and a decent cliffhanger to get people to come back to read the next one. But basically, you can get away with a lot in a comic book that you can't really do in a movie, especially if you're self-publishing.
Yeah.
We can kind of go as crazy as we want, and that was something that was attractive about the medium when we started approaching it this way.
Yeah.
But
are you guys? What are the difficulties of being a self-published book? Like, are you looking at doing a Kickstarter? Are you looking at going and trying to find some more funding to make this easier, or?
I mean, it would be nice. Right now, we just want to make sure people know we exist, and that this is a property that is going to be ongoing. This isn't just like something we're going to publish a collection of and be done with.
Yeah,
we want the story to continue as long as we can continue it.
Cool.
Doing a Kickstarter right now seems a little premature. We'd like to get some kind of recognition or exposure before we start asking people for money. But ideally, everything would be funded on Kickstarter, and we'd all have great creative projects we could put out. But sometimes it's not always the case. It's
funny because it is a thing that you hear a lot of people who talk about it, and a lot of people have been certainly wildly successful. But you do have to have that. It doesn't solve all the problems, right? You have to have a little bit of traction first. Yeah. You have to have something that will allow you to get out there and have enough exposure that people even know about it. Because I'm sure there are, like you said, there are a lot of people out there who want this book, but if they don't know that it's out there, then they won't even find the Kickstarter. Yeah. Right? So you've got to have a little bit of traction underneath your feet first, so that way when you go to them and go like, okay, we want to go full speed now, they're all going to jump on board.
And Kickstarter is a great marketing platform.
Yep.
It's a great way to drum up attention that wouldn't be there otherwise.
Yeah.
But I think the best projects are pretty much almost finished by the time they launch their campaign.
Yeah. Or at least looking to go on to that next stage. Yeah. For sure.
And in this experience, I think we've grown to just be enamored with the process that on our own time and on our own dime we can get this out to anyone with general ease, just because of what's available online and locally, without having to, like when we were going through film school, you basically essentially told, hey, yeah, you can make anything you want if you have a shit ton of money.
Right. If you have a red, you can make anything you want.
Yeah. So now
and a lot of people,
Oh yeah, very true. Very
just
true.
Asking for other people's time is such an inhibition with movie making.
Yep.
I think when we get to the point where we get a response, on an individual basis and hopefully a larger basis of, hey man, I really love the first 3 issues and we're waiting on the 4th and it's coming out, and then it motivates me to be like, I've got some free time and I've got this idea of Eyesis, stabbing this guy through the nose. Let me paint up a wallpaper of it and like give it out to someone, and just content generation at our whim, especially. We can solidify our relationship with our fans, and that at that point, if we feel like they want more and their friends would like more, and we need more time, then we'll go to try and use tools like Kickstarter or whatever.
Very cool. Awesome. So how can people find you guys? How can they be supportive? What's the call to action? What are they supposed to do next?
Well, they can buy the comic. We have digital copies at IsisTheUntouchable.com. Isis is spelled EYESIS.
Cool.
You could also go to the publishing website at puncturepress.com. But right now, we're just selling our print copies. We have really limited run, so we're hoping whatever we don't sell here will be in local shops around Denver.
Cool.
But if there's anything left, we'll probably be selling print copies on those websites as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Well, thank you so much for coming by, guys.
Thanks for having us.
It's really
man.
interesting. We're going to keep following you.
Yeah, dude.
Absolutely.
Love the show, too.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to this exclusive Real Nerds interview at Denver Comic Con 2015, and we'll see you next year. Visit our website, realnerdspodcast.com. You can tweet us at real_nerds. You can email us even, realnerds@gmail.com. Like us on Facebook. Hey, stream us on Stitcher. You want to call us? 720-6nerds5. And download us on iTunes. Just search Real Nerds. Thank you, Joe Kempter, for the wonderful voiceover. And also Spark Mandrill for the wonderful late-night jazz smooth sounds of movies. You can find him on SoundCloud. This has been a Nebulous Visions production.